not a vampire, not an alien. I'm not the fucking mummy, I'm a goblin.
Greetings and welcome, I am the Twisted Goblin, and I'm here for all your reviews, videos, you know, some thoughts about what I think about movies, what I think about some other things that I'm thinking about, you know, lots of thinking is going on in this head. Anyway, so we're talking about Darkman. Darkman is this beautiful, wonderful movie from the 90s, you know, the 90s when stuff was actually good, when there were some good movies done because they wanted to do movies, not because they wanted to. Sometimes there was those movies where lots of the 90s was made with action heroes in mind. So we got like Arnold Schwarzenegger, we got Sylvester Stallone, we got all those A-list actors, and they did a lot of things to get them in those movies. Like the main one of those was Liam Neal. What was his name again? He is like he was in Batmanville. We know the guy. It was an action. He did Taken later on in his life, but this one is the beginning. And Darkman is one of those beginning things in the early 90s of a superhero. But a superhero not like Marvel does. Like, always the same fucking story. Never go too dark. Never go. It's a very Disney friendly thing. No matter how horror they go, the most horror Marvel has ever gone is with Multiverse of Madness. Even that has moments of horror. This is not a real horror show, but it was fun. I give it that. It was fun. But then you got Darkman. Darkman is one of those superhero movies before superhero movies were a thing. So it's a very much like, yeah, sure, we got the Batman from the 90s, but we got the before. Darkman is actually played in the 90s and is around the Batman, I think a little bit less. But either way, there was Darkman, and Darkman had this beautiful original. There are 3 movies of this thing. This is the first one. And the first one! In the first one, we get Neil Eastwood. Oh, come on. Neil, our main character, later called Darkman. He has a girlfriend, but he's also a scientist. And as a scientist, he experiments on skin tissue, trying to repair the skin tissue, trying to able to create new skin tissue. They have done this in the real life already, trying to reattach things, making sure it works and everything. There are some elements to this that actually works, and he is trying to do this. This is all this research. But apparently he's working for some other corporation that doesn't like it or doesn't think. Either way, he gets, while he wants to marry his girlfriend, and the girlfriend's like, I don't know if I'm a married type, you know. But he's like, what's the difference? Like, I want to marry you, I want the thing. So he he goes to his work, tries to work it out, what the issue is, how to create the thing. Then some guys come in, try to ask questions that he doesn't know the answer about, gets moved around, gets destroyed. They try to ask, it's like this mafia going on. There is 2 mafia things. They had a street art that didn't work well out. So like, first thing, the guy has a wooden leg. That wooden leg apparently was also a gun. That shootout happens to have only one end and one, but this guy is very like he has a cigar. This is the moment when cigars were still a thing, when cigars were not a bad thing to get in movies. Now it's all opposites, like no cigars, a bit of alcohol is allowed, but like they have literally like some issues with stuff that I'm like, you know, if you tackle this correctly, you can do this, but they don't. They don't even do that. They ignore it. It's like ignoring bigger issues of stuff and trying to just see what the media likes, what people that they think people like. But either way, this is like the darker Darkman gets before his like his origin is he falls in the he gets slapped around, his hands get burned because of things. His head gets torn in one of those storm things. He gets disfigured like a lot because this guy, this mafia goons trying to set a point, and they do. Like, they're literally trying to rip him apart, trying to do lots of things to his face, and eventually leaving him dead behind. But the weird part is, it's like very 90s of an explosion happens, and everybody should be dead. But this is a kind of a superhero movie, so instead of the guy just dying buried underneath the thing, the explosion pulls him away from all the way out to in the water, so that like he flies into the water. His face is disfigured, but he doesn't able to do some other research thing happens. I'm guessing after he's dead, he would be like, "Oh, I want my body for research." That seems like a guy that would do this, even though they don't know who he is. But this John he gets in the thing, then they're experimenting on him. It's like, yeah, he could be a homeless guy, he could be we're experimenting on him. And this experiment is not making him feel any pain. He has enormous pain, like there is lots of pain going around on this. But he has it like this one of like, oh yeah, it's an experiment, it's very grounded, it's like he feels no pain. Yeah, he doesn't feel pain, but it does able to his emotions more. His emotions go higher because the body doesn't feel pain, so the body tries to redo it somewhere else, so trying to able to live with this by having something else, so his emotions are way hidden. And after he goes in hiding, sees that his face is all disfigured, he tries to get to his girlfriend at first, like getting to his girlfriend, but his girlfriend runs away because one, so far as his girlfriend is aware, he is dead. Two, he is disfigured and you cannot see his face, and he has also bandages on most of the time because also it's going to be affected. So he tries like, okay, I have to live with this for being a freak. Instead of what you see out a lot of superhero movies, like going after the bad guy that did this to him directly, he tries to fix himself. He has literally, you see how his priority is not vengeance like a lot of movies are. His priority is his face, and he tries to do it at first. He tries to fix, but it doesn't work. He tries, but he needs money. He needs money to have more stuff to get able to research. He does so. Where does he get the money? From the bad guys. So he does photograph them, see where they go, like trying to analyze. Very detective, going around, seeing who he is, what the guy's doing. Then he has a photo, because he tried to do a photo of himself, but not every plant of his face was able to do, because not everything was it. So he had a little bit trouble with that. But he didn't have trouble when he could actually do pictures of somebody else, and he did that the face of somebody else to fix his face, and it works. Like the other face able to work, able to have free skin tissue, able to recreate it. He does that with the hands, with his body, mostly with his face and his hands, and then he is able to go into that, gets to that, able to get the briefcase. Now that guy was one of the mafia, so that guy gets in trouble because the money never got picked up. He overslept, he overdid. It's like literally the Darkman whole idea was like, okay, this is how I'm gonna do it. This is like he gonna sleep further by a pill or something, and I'm gonna do the drop. He does the drop, he able to do it, and he gets more. That guy gets flying. It's like, oh, you are going to fly? Let me get you on a trip, and through the window. It's like that. I'm like, well, interesting. I like this movie so far. I'm interested in this movie. This is a movie. It's fucking terrific. So we're watching further. He gets dry face. Then he's also like While that's going on, while the mafia stuff is like wrestling in the background, he is also like, I want his girlfriend. So he is able to restructure his girlfriend by putting his one side of his skin to the other side of his skin. So it does not look perfect, but it was able to trick his girlfriend. So he goes back to his girlfriend. His girlfriend's first like, it cannot be you, you're dead. It's like, oh, I did survive it. And eventually she trusted, and it's like, we should go. But then it's like, they go to this carnival eventually for a date, and he's like, he wants to reveal who he is really is, like who he is now, because this one is just a skin. It's just like a mask, but a skin tissue mask, like to make him look appear to a thing and able to do everything. But the skin tissue doesn't last. It lasts like 24 hours or something. So he's always that deadline of, even when he goes to the villains he has this deadline that he has to reach. And with this girl, it's like, he wants to reveal, but then he's like this freak, and there's actually a freak that burns things like just like him. So he's like, sees that everybody's laughing at him, everybody thinks he's a freak, so he doesn't want to reveal himself. He doesn't want to go that route. He's afraid he's gonna lose the girl that he loves, because one, the girl is already with somebody else going on the background. After this that he runs, she also goes back to the guy saying that she cannot do this thing going around about with him. One, she wants to go back to her husband, her future husband, or the guy that's like, sure, could be that he's disfigured, but she still loves him, and now feels also a bit guilty for it. So it's kind of a pity love also as well. That's like something that I hate. Like, yes, there is like love going on, but it's more like you love the man he was, and you don't you want that back. Like, oh yeah, you can have the skin, you have to take, you're not accepting who he is now. You want him to be back, but you also feel pity for monster they became. It's like, yes, he is disaster. Some people would run away. Like, some people would actually run away, and that would be bad. You are making the lesser of two evils, but you're still not in love with how he looks. You are. You don't accept how he looks. You want him still to go on, and you feel pity of what he is. But he starts to accept how he looks. He starts to accept how he can look. He does. You know, his girlfriend does get kidnapped, and now he is gonna go after it. It feels more like he doesn't go straight up vengeance. The first time he goes with the mafia after becoming Darkman, he goes after them for money. It's like, this guy and those guys are bad guys. He knows they're bad guys. They burn them. So he does it for getting to the money, to get his research done. So it feels like, okay, not straight up vengeance, but then his girlfriend gets kidnapped, so he kind of has to go after them. So he films himself, like some people are trying to kill him. He is able, also he doesn't feel pain, so even if an explosion that he runs off is damaging him, or he can keep on running. He doesn't feel that pain. The pain doesn't do anything. Also, he's already burned, so whatever. So he runs away and able to overmaster the guy. Then gets to the big boss, the big tower. That's half of it. It's like we think of like, okay, the guy with the cigar kind of survived. The one that did all the things, we also find out he had some partner, and that partner is his Darkman's girlfriend's love interest after he died. Now that's the whole reason she got kidnapped. So they go to this tower where it's not made yet. So there are things like, he's like, I've been coming over here, I've been up here a lot of things, I love seeing, it's dangerous, but I kind of like it, I like the danger. So you get this villain that actually doesn't afraid of heights. I would be terrified, but also I would also do it for the girl alive. So he is there trying to, then it's like, I know you're not him, On some moments he knows and tries to kill him, so this fight happens. But he is like very good. Sure, he falls almost the whole fucking time, but he is very good in keeping his balance, even though he almost falls the whole fucking time. On the other hand, our Leeson, our Darkman, tries to get him, there's also the other one that keeps him, but then they fight, they go down a level, then fight again. They're like doing all this thing. Of course, the hooks, like he does hooks on him, he almost falls. It's like this fine, but it's like, who's gonna fall first? Is he gonna fall? Is he gonna fall? Then the girl almost falls. Now he has to rescue the girl while batting him, and eventually he falls to his death. Of course he does. At first it's like he falls and he's like, you cannot let me fall. You're a hero. You're a good guy. You would not let me fall to my death. That's not you. That's not you. You're ugly. You're a freak. You would not just kill me. And he is like, well, I lived much worse things. It's like there was also a moment before that. It's like, you cannot live with that. It's like, well, I learned to live with worse things. And then it lets him drop. It's like, bam, dead. And then saves the girl. The girl gets saved. There's like, but then it's like, instead of a kiss, instead of this hero, it's like, he's very much like, I cannot be a hero. I have changed. I'm not the guy you used to love. He is dead. I'm now Darkman. That's like literally like this whole thing. And I loved it. He goes on. She tries to follow him for a while, but he gets a mask on. But he could be anybody. He could be that guy. He could be that. He's good with the mask. He's good, able to blend in. It's this awesome ending to a movie that I like. The first one, I didn't see the other two yet. I'm gonna do watch those two on some point too. But I love Darkman 1. It's Malian Eastwood. Oh my god. It's like the guy from Taken. He is fucking awesome as an hearing. And I love this. It's like this superhero movie before superhero movies. It's this time that got lost. Sure, we got some Batman movies in the 90s. But never this. This is like this darker version. And it's cool, awesome done. He's not just going out of vengeance like a lot of action movies was. Like that guy gets killed, parents die, family die, he gets burned, something happens, right up, straight up vengeance. This guy, Darkman, has this more. So like he has to deal with that. He looks like this, and you see him dealing with his city. He doesn't want to deal with it. He tries to find a cure. That cure doesn't find it. He doesn't know how to do it. Then he goes after his girl. It's never the mafia. It's never been his main purpose, but it does is the reason he able to get the money. He needs money, so he goes after the mafia because they're already bad guys, and he knows about them, so he goes after the money. It seems a little bit vengeful, but it's not that for vengeance. It's more for his money. That his priority is himself, his kid, his girlfriend, and after that. Sure, it's a good plus that he goes after them, but he's never like, oh, gonna go after big villain. Oh, I'm going after him. It's secondary and feels like more connection to not just a vengeful movie like you got a lot. It feels more grounded. It feels more like personal, and I like it. I give this one an Omega level 10. It's better than any Marvel movie. It's grander. I like it better than any Marvel movie. I cannot say it's like, sure, there are some moments in a Marvel movie that are so good, but for a character itself, for Darkman, for how he is, I feel like this guy is way better. It's also a darker story, so you get like things that you can never have in a Marvel movie. It's things that you will never see in a Marvel movie. The tone of this movie feels so different because the MCU stuff all feel the same. Sure, they are a little bit different, a little bit different, but you see still whose hands are in this movie. You see Marvel, like even with Star Wars, you see that Marvel, you see that Disney has their hands in the Marvel movies. Even the loft I I like the Mandalorian. I love that kind of thing. Best thing about Star Wars, but you see that there's Disney hands in it. You can see there it's been touched. Imagine if the director of this, imagine how darker the story could have gotten if another director was in. I love darker stories. I always loved Jessica Jones on darker story. Disney didn't have lots of things, like less things Disney has their hands on, how better. Sure, Disney can, you know, make some good movies, make some great, but when Disney keeps their eyes out of it and not interfere with it, it's most of the time better. I don't say every time, but most of the time it's a fucking better movie. And Darkman feels like a better movie that we missing right now. Sure, there is DC, and DC could be good. I haven't seen the Flash movie. I'm gonna see it when it's out on Blu-ray. Sure, the actor is a fucking asshole and should never act again for a long time. I don't say entirely. If he really redeems himself, if he really feels bad about it, does charity work here and there, does like really works on himself, trying to become a better person, I would love to see him back acting. But right now, he has lots to make of. The people he has hurt, the people he's threatened, those things don't go away easy. You have to build on. You cannot just ignore the media. You cannot just ignore what you have done. You have to train yourself. You have to better yourself. Not better by ignoring it, better by doing something about it. What you have done, that's what I think, at least. Anyway, so yes, Darkman, an Omega level 10, a really good one. I really recommend watching Darkman. It's from the 90s, the early 90s, and I think it's 1990 that this movie came out, and then 2 years later or a year later the next one. There are 3 of them, so I'm looking forward to reviewing those as well. Anyway, I hope you liked it, and yeah, I recommend also my other channels. I have Twisted Goblin Black and White, where I do gaming every week. Great video. It's always my music, so you don't have to hear my voice the whole fucking time. Then I have a shorts YouTube channel, because I have a TikTok YouTube thing just called Twisted Goblin, but also now I have a short short on my YouTube if you want to see it on YouTube, more videos. There are like a little bit different. The YouTube, TikTok, I have lots of things, but on YouTube I have some other of the shorts that I don't gonna just check them out. It's called Twisted Goblin Short Bites. I thought Twisted Goblin is my whole MO, so yes, I keep Twisted Goblin in the name always. Always! Because I'm twisted. Because I'm a goblin. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you like this. And I see you, all of you crazy people, in my next videos. Yeah, bye. Good night.
Then the days got worse and worse, and now you see I've gone completely out of my mind.